breaking news, Injustice 3 has been quietly canceled due to its extreme poor sales. Now, according to my source, the reason why Injustice was canceled was because by the end of May, when the game Injustice 2 was released, it was the 9th best-selling game of 2017. Time Warner even declared the game as the highest grossing console game in the second quarter of 2017. The game only sold 500,000 copies in the first month. Now, a lot of people can look at that as a W, but we're in 2022. 2017 sales compared to 2022 are different. What worked back then did not work now. So within the first 3 months that Injustice 2 came out, it sold 1.5 million copies. Now, mind you, with that game selling 1.5 million copies, you would consider that a W, right? Well, WB had its own expectations, and it was not that far from Injustice 1. Now, Injustice Gods Among Us was the highest selling game in the United States during its release month of April. That was back in 2013. It sold 424,000 copies, and that was reported by industry analyst Cohen and Company. The only game that was released during that month to sell more than 250,000 copies. Now, back in 2013, that was acceptable. So here in 2017, it only sold double, which was 500K, and it took 3 months to sell 1 million. Now, Mortal Kombat blew that out the water with 12 million copies. So hopefully you understand why they decided that they were going to go with Mortal Kombat 12 instead. It's because the math was not mathing. They spend millions of dollars to create these games, and Injustice is a loss. They spent close to $10 million to develop this video game, and it only brought back in $1.5 million. That is a bad investment. It's not something that you should continue. So after speaking with my source, he informed me that Injustice 3 has been quietly canceled and slid to the back burner because it costs more money to make money. Now, a lot of you may not know this, but WB Games is nearing $96 billion in debt. They cannot afford to take on any more debt. Any money that they spend, they are looking to recoup that money. That's what they're looking to do. So anytime they put something into a game, you want to make sure you get that back, right? You just don't want to be out here spending money. That is not what you want to do at all. And correction, the enterprise value of the company combined has $120 billion in debt, carrying $58 billion in debt, including $43 billion from Warner Media and $15 billion from Discovery. So they have billions of dollars in debt is what they have. And by them having all of that debt, they gotta make money. They gotta make money. And sorry for saying it so many times. I just really needed you to focus on those numbers. So you're probably asking me, okay, Mr. Know-It-All, what's next? What else did your source say about Injustice? Do you have any more bad news for us? Well, actually, I have a little bit of good news for you. So the good news that I have for you when it comes to Injustice 3 is that Injustice 3 has the potential to be uncanceled, meaning once they meet a common ground of, put it this way, I'll tell it to you. Let me break it down for you and put it in easier terms to understand instead of using all of these numbers like billions and that. So basically what they're saying is this. You know how when you pay your bills, right? You pay your rent, you pay your electric, you pay your car note, you pay your car insurance. After you do all of those things, you may consider buying yourself a new pair of shoes. At least any responsible adult or human would consider it that way. Right now, WB has bills to pay, so they're not worried about taking a huge risk to invest into something that is not going to invest back into it. Meaning that if I went out and bought a $300 pair of shoes, them shoes are not going to make me no money at all. It's very rare that it does, unless I sell them on the black market and get back twice the amount. So when it comes to Injustice is not bringing any money, it's costing more money. Imagine how much money they spend on marketing and promo for Injustice 3. Tons of money in marketing. Imagine what they're spending on creating the characters. Imagine what they're spending on the story mode and all the things that's required to get the game registered. Everything across the board. they did not make back half that money that was spent to hire those people to work hours and hours on those games. So it would only make sense for them to work on Mortal Kombat 12, which is the reason why they decided to do that, especially with the anniversary coming up, the 30th anniversary for Mortal Kombat 12. So I just wanted to be straight with you and bring you that news and not beat around the bush and get directly to what's going on. I want to pass this question off to you in the comment section below. Do you understand the fact that Injustice 3 did not sell well as to the reason why they decided to skip it for now and come back to it later? Answer that in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts on and what do you think. I will be reading the comments.